once again, welcome to our imLabs webinar. We just started this is our first webinar this year. We wanted to restart our monthly webinars so that we can keep bringing topics up that are some of the typical questions that we get asked by franchisees, some of the topics that we feel that are more complicated for them to understand. And we're going to try and simplify them in these webinars and really try to tell them how everything works more than what they just heard before or what they think social media is. So we're going to try to bring different topics to the table. We wanted to start with this one specifically because we felt over years of working with franchisees that this is one of the most confusing concepts about social media and how to actually understand the difference between the different things that happen in social media. And one of that is the difference, understanding the real difference between what does it mean to post and to have your account and your pages with organic content every month. What does that mean versus creating ads, making advertising campaigns, and even how to do those. So we've had a lot of franchisees always get confused in even using the words, because when we start talking to them, they immediately call everything ads. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about just a story or a post or something that we're going to have in their page, they're going to call it an ad. So we really want them and everyone to understand how to call things so that we are correctly identifying what they are and what their purpose is, why we make this webinar, so that we can clearly see the difference and the purpose of each one of these things specifically in our strategy for franchisees. So let's begin. Great. So these are the main things that I'm going to be talking today about, which first, I always like to open up by just saying, why is it important for businesses today to have social media be part of their plan? Why is it important to have that? Then what's the difference between posts and ads? We're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then what are the different types of ads? How can we make ads in Meta specifically? And then how do I track these results? What should I be looking at? And how do I understand my results, even though they're organic or paid ads? And then some conclusions and recommendations, and then we're going to have time for questions. Just know that if any of you have any questions during my presentation, you can use the little messaging box. You can ask questions and I can respond to those too. Let's begin. So nowadays, and specifically starting 2026, we know that every single business, big or small, even if it's just someone having an Etsy page, you should have presence in social media. Depends on which channels you want to use, but for now we're going to be focusing on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. So I wanted to give you some data that's really important to understand nowadays, and this is recent data for 2026. And why is it important to be present? Because if you're not on social, you're not probably going to be visible for such a huge audience out there. So for example, 8 out of 10 people are searching locally for businesses online every single week, and nearly 1/3 of those do it daily. So this is something that is just people are just on their phone even when watching TV, they're watching a show or a series or something in Netflix, and they're still on their phone. They could be shopping, they could be searching, they could be chatting, or just scrolling around on socials. And that's why every single business should be there. Another reason is over 70% of people use Google to search for businesses near them. And sometimes, even though they're searching in Google, they want to triple check with social to find out about those services or those products that are being mentioned in Google and see how are they? Like, I want to see images, I want to see pictures, I want to see more details. And that's why social media has to be aligned in every single channel. And if even though you're in Google, which is like the basic searching place, people also go and double check in pages like Instagram and Facebook. And then also every local searcher often like acts right away and makes a decision when they're actively searching or when they see an ad that interests them. And some of them even like call or chat with a business or visit a business within a day or a week after searching or seeing an ad. Something that is also coming up in our conversations, daily conversations with franchisees, is how frustrating it is to not see results, especially immediate results. And that's because we need to understand that social media takes consistency and time. It's not just you turn on a button and everything starts working. You have to start taking data. You have to start making those pages be localized, consistent, on brand, that they make sense, that you're actively answering to people when they message you, that you're posting consistently. Doesn't matter if you don't get any likes or any shares or comments. Nowadays, that's not what's important. That shouldn't be what you're focusing on, but more of having that content available in your pages, living there, so everyone that goes and looks for you or pops into your page gets to know what you offer, where you're located, what's your contact data, address, phone number, store hours. All of this is very important. And then obviously the businesses that win are the ones who keep showing up no matter what. So you shouldn't get demotivated if you're like, oh, I started posting and I don't get likes, I don't get any followers back, I'm not getting engagement. That's okay. You're getting seen. You're being there. You're available. You're posting current content. You're posting about your business. It doesn't matter. The right people are going to see you. So you shouldn't worry about this. Nowadays, followers and likes are not giving you any sales. So let's think of it like, I'm going to make this funny example, but think of it as like you sign up for a gym and you say, January 2026 is I'm going to start doing exercise because I need to lose a little weight. I need to get stronger, whatever goal you have. You know that if you only go for 6 weeks and then you stop, you're not going to get those abs that you were thinking of getting. You're not going to get that goal that you wanted to get. You have to go a long time. You have to be consistent. You have to go every single week. You have to keep working, no matter if the results are slower or faster than someone else's. Everyone has their own process. Every location has their own process. So if somebody had a really big success with a campaign, it doesn't mean that you're going to get the same. Everyone has a different story. So think of it like that. If your goal is to get that 6-pack, are you going to stop at 3 months? Are you going to stop at 2 months? Is this something you just try and stop? Social is like that. Social is something you need to just keep doing, keep going, and it should be part of your business as any other department. It shouldn't be something like you turn on and off and something that you just test and it didn't work. It should be considered as something long-term. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of what's exactly the difference of posting organically, keeping your pages updated, and making ads. And just a little bit of information. That's why in our package for imLabs, we always combine both. You're never going to hear from us that we're going to sell a package of just organic or just ads. These two things need to happen together with a consistent strategy so that it actually works. Organic posts, this is how you would see an organic post. You follow a page, you're inside the page specifically of the specific business, store, whatever. You're gonna be able to scroll, see all the information about that store in the bio. You're gonna be able to see a specific promotion, for example. You're gonna be able to like it, share it, save it, interact with it, get more information on it, and it will keep living there in that page. That's for followers to see and for everyone who goes into that page. Organic posts are very important because you keep your page consistent, you keep your page up to date, and you keep informing people, even though they're followers or just random people that are searching for you, you keep showing them what you're about, what you offer, what are the different services or products that you can offer at your store. And the most important thing about the organic posts is they open conversations. So when somebody is looking at your page and they see something, they could message your business about that specific service. They might have questions for you, and that's why you need to be there, always answering to people, because if you don't answer, or if your last post was published in 2024, they're immediately gonna not trust your business and walk to the next competitor. And then ads, this is how you would see an ad. It always shows as sponsored. It shows who is like, by who is this being sponsored. So it always shows the profile picture too, the name of the account, the word sponsored, and you get another type of visual with other buttons and call to actions that you could take with these. For example, in this case, the button of learn more. What does that mean? That if you click on that ad, you're probably going to get redirected somewhere else where the company, the business wants you to get. It could be a form to gather information. It could be a landing page. It could be a phone number. So many options that makes the ad such a different interaction from the organic posts. So it is very important that we understand this so that we never confuse them and we don't call our regular month-to-month posts ads, because an ad will only become an ad if you put money behind it. And now let's talk about how to do that. Oh, sorry, before that, I wanted to show you a really nice example of how to understand the difference in a very simple way. Take organic posts as your storefront. Only the people that are going to pass by your storefront, that know where you are, that visit you frequently, will be able to see if you put up a poster with a coupon or anything outside your store showing that you have something going on, an event, a promotion, a coupon, whatever. Only people who pass by your store will be the ones seeing it. So this could be how organic posts work. So only people who follow your page or go directly to your page are going to see those posts. And one very important fact is Meta will only show your organic posts to less than 5% of your followers. So it shouldn't also be something you rely on, because your content is not gonna be showing up to, if you have 1,000 customers, it's not always gonna be shown every single day to those 1,000 people. So you have to keep posting so that the more they interact with your posts, that percentage can increase and more followers can see it, depending on how effective this post is. An ad will be more like you put up billboards, you put up screens in different parts of the city, targeting specific areas that you want to target that are matching your ideal audience. And this is how you reach new people that are not your followers, that do not know your brand, or maybe they've seen it, but they don't know where you're at, they don't know where your address is, they don't know what your services are. So with an ad, even with just $20, you'll be able to reach a broader audience that you picked very specifically to show these ads to. So if you're, for example, a follower of a business, you'll be able to see both things. You'll be able to see the monthly or weekly posts that are in their page as a follower, and you'll probably be targeted with their ads if you are matching their audience settings. So taking all this into account, it takes time to build momentum. It's not something like you started posting once or 1 week and immediately you're gonna see results. This is not how it works. And specifically, if you only stay posting the organic side of the strategy, it will be way slower. So that's why you should always combine an organic strategy of consistently posting stuff about your business and also running monthly ads, so that you're always reaching more people and more potential customers that are going to come to your store. So this is like a conclusion slide about this topic of differentiating organic with ads. So if you wanna like take away something, this would be the main things. So obviously organic posts are free. You publish them. You can publish them every day, every week, every hour. You can post all the posts and stories that you want every day. These will always live in your page, and people will get to see them if they're followers or if they pop into your page. Only a small percentage of followers will see them every day because it doesn't get shown to everyone. It's good to stay active and building trust through this strategy of organic posting. And obviously, it's not designed specifically to grab new leads, to make conversions, to reach a large audience, even though you can. If a lot of people start interacting with your posts, well, more people are going to see them. But the main objective is to really get your business to be consistent and showing what you do inside of your pages. And then obviously, posting is totally different from advertising. Now let's talk about a little bit deeper into ads. There's two main ways to run ads in Meta. One is you've seen the big boost button that comes after every single post in your page. So let's say you posted a coupon today in your page, just for your followers to see, for your community to see, and Meta gives you the option to click boost, and it will let you run like a really quick ad, really quick setting, and you'll just put, I want it to be in X city, X area, or X mile radius for men or women or whatever this age, and then that's it. It's very limited, but it's very quick. And we don't like to recommend this type of ad because it's like a very quick way for Meta to just grab your money without a strategy. So what we recommend and how we do our ads every month is through the Meta Ads Manager, really setting up your ad the correct way, taking into account the correct audience, doing the correct optimization, date, time, duration, ad spend per day, per campaign. We try to like tailor as much as possible with zip codes, with areas, with interests. You could do so much more when you run your ads through Meta Ads Manager. Plus, the tracking is way more complex, and it gives you better data than when you just boost. It will just give you some insights, and that's it. There's no way to track. There's no way to learn from those results because you're just boosting random posts. So it is very important that you understand the difference, and that if you are doing each one of them, you're doing it the correct way. So boosting, in conclusion, is just like taking an espresso shot. You just show it to anyone, not so audience, like not so many audience limits, and like really optimizing your audience and your and the people that you really want to reach that are actually going to buy from you. And it will be very quick. It will use your money, and you'll never know what happens with this. On the other hand, when you do Meta ads, you get the ideal customers at the exact moment and the exact time. You're gonna know what they like, how they behave. They're ready to buy or to make a decision. And Meta will always start analyzing every campaign you make. So the more campaigns you make month to month, and the more consistent and the more you analyze your data to make decisions for your next campaign, the more accurate you're gonna become, and the more successful your ads are going to be. So that's why when you just test an ad for 1 month, it's obviously not gonna be enough data for anyone to analyze if this worked or if it didn't. So this is something that you just don't do once. You have to do this every single month. Even if you just spend $20 per month, it works. Another question that we get a lot regarding ads is, why don't I see my ad? Why isn't it published in my page? Did it even run? Did you guys actually do it? Since we run them in the Meta Ads Manager, it doesn't necessarily need to be published in your page. We create an ad with all your strategy, your messaging, everything that we discussed for your ad, And then we build it inside the Meta Ads Manager, and it starts showing up on people's screen that matches the audience that we created. So if you as an owner, you're not seeing it published in your page, or you're not seeing it pop in your screen, or you don't even use social media, it's very highly like you're not gonna see it. It's not something that you're always gonna see published in your page because it's not a post. It was meant to be an ad. So we are going to post in your page every month all the things about what your services are, how they solve customers' problems, engaging ideas, videos, trends, all of those things that talk about your services. But your ad is always going to be focused in something that you really want to grow sales on, or that you really want to get awareness of. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if we run an ad for you, it's going to be published in your page. So see it as if you were driving on a highway every day to work and you always see the same billboard with ads. Maybe you don't have to ride through that highway, so you're not going to see your own ad, or you're not going to see that specific billboard. So it's the same with ads. Every time we start an ad, it will start showing up on the correct people's screens that match your audience. So it probably is not you, because you're an admin of your page, you're the owner of your page, you're already like maybe you're not in the audience setup, so that's why it won't show up, and it won't necessarily be posted in your feed. Another example is, you all know about flyers, coupons, EDDM. If you're gonna like match how it works, it's as if you were giving out flyers around town and you were giving it to the correct people that you think would be your potential customers, because you've analyzed this section of the city, or you're gonna give it to students specifically, and you as an owner are not gonna get a flyer because you're not part of the target. So this is a way of seeing it, so you understand why when we tell you your ad is running, you're probably not gonna see it. So these are more of the reasons that tell you why you're probably not seeing your own ad. And then the last thing, and very important, is how do I even measure and understand all of these results that Meta gives me? So the biggest mistake that business owners make is just like, first, not looking at any results and just like thinking that they put the money and it should work, and not really stopping to see what happened with the campaign. What objective did I choose? Did it work? What are the numbers? How to understand those numbers? There's a lot of data when it comes to ads, and it is very important that you sync with us or anyone that's helping you do this, so that you understand what's happening. And then we can compare those results with your store sales, your store traffic, what is happening inside your store. If, for example, we tell you your ad had 10,000 people reached during 1 week, was that week important in terms of new customers, people calling for inquiries, people asking about a service? And we need to constantly sync with you guys, because it is very difficult for us, or any agency or person running ads, to know if you're going on the right track unless the business or the person tells you what's happening on their end. So the most important thing about understanding and measuring results is you compare whatever we are doing online to whatever you are expecting in your store, what's going on in your store, how are sales doing. And this is over time. This shouldn't be something you expect in the first month of advertising or the first few months, because we like to tell you that you should focus on one specific objective and measure through a time of like 3 to 4 months, so that we can track and see, okay, we've been talking about, for example, mailboxes. How has this made an impact in your mailbox sales since we started doing the campaign? Because we know some services are not a first need or a craving or something that you put out a coupon and people immediately react to it. Sometimes there's things that take time for customers to make their buying decision. These are just a couple of case studies that I wanted to show before we close. Customers that have done a lot of time with us doing ads, they spend a little bit more than the regular included in our package, and they've gotten really good results after, for example, this case, 7 months of consistently running ads, posting, answering to their messaging, working together with us to get there. So for example, they wanted to make a promotion of 25% off for a year subscription of mailboxes, and they actually went up to 15 mailboxes after those 7 months of campaigns. Another one wanted to really get more awareness of their store and all the services that they offered, specifically focusing on printing, and they really wanted to get those sales up and at least the awareness that they're a printing store and a very big printing store. So they started investing more in ad spend, and they even got to 170 in ad spend, and they got to 20, like growing 20% mailbox sales year to date, 30% in printing sales, and they were reaching a lot of people every single month after 10 months of work with us. So this was just like they started seeing things after 10 months, which were great. And some people see it earlier, some people take a little bit more time. But what's important is that we are consistent and we don't stop. The moment you stop, all the work is going to be lost. And if anyone here is not yet a customer or is interested in learning more, you can always book an assessment, one-on-one assessment with us, and we'll be glad to show you what our package includes, what we can do for you, and we can do a personalized call where we can look at your pages, your current, if you're doing something currently for social media, and how we can help you improve that. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you again in our next webinar.